let's start with the corner. We enter here. This is very poorly done, okay? Very poorly done. There's just the buttons. She was jumping around earlier on, but it's like 1 o'clock now because this is a new camera, folks. It's a new camera, so as you can see it? I'll try and brighten up the video, but this is the lighting I like. It is quite dark, but this is the lighting I like at night time. So what have I got? Okay, so I painted the walls kind of that dark grayish, and these mirrors are from IKEA. Get them in IKEA. I love these light switches, by the way. I know it needs a bit of the camera picks up everything, folks, right? So down in this corner, I put up a little blackboard thing. I know the dates aren't correct. I have to fix all that. Just various dates for important things to have happen, you know. A light, that's from IKEA as well. And this is Button's toy box. Can you see that there? Not quite. But that's Button sleeping now. She was jumping around earlier on trying to bribe me for that thing. A little bit of lightage here and a little bit of a black... What? No. You know, it's what she's doing. You know, I know. All right, Buttons. I've prepared for this possibility, folks. Right? I've prepared for this. Little treat for producer Buttons. Okay. Anyway, so this picture. Right? I like this picture because what happened here is the duck, okay, landed this way and broke too hard on the right and skidded off and kind of stumbled up and got back again. Now, what she's doing is she's wandering back, oh, it's gone out of focus there, looking at her mistake, or his mistake, or whatever you like. I just thought that was an amusing picture, because pilots do that as well, and you notice the duck's walking away from the mistake there. Yeah, aviators. IKEA plants, not real. Now, this thing here for storage for this room, okay, I know you all like your man caves. Oh man, I went into a kitchen place and I gave them measurements and I said I want kitchen presses they had all this glass stuff here, okay? So this is quite long, right? Lots of storage. Let me show you. Here, right? It's nice and lit up. I put that in there, that little light there myself. And it just hides everything. It hides all the mess, okay? So anyway, I went to the kitchen guy and I said, how much fit it and all that kind of stuff. And he charged, like, he said like €2,500, that'll do. And I told him, look, I told him he was a bit of a prick, to be honest with you. And I got this in IKEA, 500 quid. Probably less actually, I think it was, but you gotta build it yourself. So that's really cool, right? So you can't really see it and hides everything away, which pleases me. Radiator covers make everything nice and neat. You know, I love that. So that's that little corner as we walk in there, and there's button station there, which is not working now though. Over here, I like these old-fashioned desks. I know it doesn't suit the rest of the room. I may put it somewhere else. That's another little laptop I'm going to use for this, that and the other. It does come in quite handy, okay? So that area is there. That's quite handy, little filing cabinets and stuff like that in there for all the work I do. This corner then, behind this filing cabinet, right, nothing to do with the channel, it's a whole lot of wires to do with the Wi-Fi. Okay, I'm using Air, it's an Irish company. And IKEA plants, you can't have enough of those. Okay, you can't have enough of those at all. Again, more round mirrors. You know, I like those. Just adding atmosphere to the room. Those little plants now and again are all very nice. And again, more storage. This one, look how neat that looks now, right? Neat, crazy. Neat. Brilliant. Also, these are IKEA as well. These drawers, I can't remember, Alex, isn't it? And that big long panel there. Let me move the seat out of the way. This is very unprofessional, by the way, but I got to get this out. Alex drawers, and I can't remember the name of that wood, but you get it now in IKEA. At the time, I couldn't get this for ages because of COVID, right? So what am I using here? Some of my equipment. This is the editing station, by the way, okay? This is all the editing station, just corner here especially, okay? So I'm using an Apple Mac, okay? Using an Apple Mac. It really does the job, actually, but just be wary. If your Apple Mac or laptop just goes black, don't bring it to an Apple distributor or an Apple guy, because they'll tell you it's broken and they can't fix it. Yes, they can go to some repair guy, right? And they'll tell you the story there. So it's all about right to repair and all that kind of stuff's kicking off. Anyway, Apple looks great. I love Final Cut Pro, it's brilliant. And I love the screens and all that kind of stuff. So I won't go on about that. What am I using for my voice? Your voice is very important in YouTube, how you sound, okay? This is a Shure mic. This is the one that Michael Jackson used and all. You'll see all the podcasters using these, and I just thought for the channel, if I don't sound right, no one's going to watch it. Here, I don't need any fancy equipment. Just an Audient ID4 will do the job. Is that focused? No, it is. This is also, did I say this is a new camera? Now, I've got lots of these, okay? Lots of these hard disks and hard drives. I don't save all the videos I made. I just put them in YouTube and forget about them, quite frankly. So they're all hidden away. I don't see those when I'm sitting here, okay? Also, this chair, right? I can't remember the name of it. I never get a sore back. Oops, I hope I haven't switched off the camera. That chair is brilliant. I got it from I put it on the screen. I can't quite remember the name of it. But I noticed myself getting a sore back, and I'm not one to get sore backs. So I got this. I read up about it, and a friend had one, and he said, Shane, get one of those, or GripperSim, whatever my name is. And they're brilliant. They're absolutely stunning. I got it out of a van. A guy in Dundee. It's kind of a website thing in Ireland. You get secondhand stuff. Anyway, brilliant chair. Very, very handy. Moving over here, I like the little light here in case I'm writing at night. And under here then is a cooler. In summertime it gets very hot now in Ireland for some reason. Like, I never thought I'd need a cooler before. Anyway, it's focused. This here is a plant from IKEA. I know they're not real because it's quite dark in here. Anyway, this is IKEA as well. Just for your bits and bobs. Looks really cool. You know, I love that kind of stuff. Just fill the walls. Use your walls for spacing. I like the grey colour, grey and white there. They love that in America, you know, and I just thought I'd Americanise the place a little bit. What else do I have? A little cheap lamp I bought in some store, you know, $10. Oh, it's in IKEA, right? $10, you can change all the light to warm and cold and all that kind of stuff. Very handy. More plants. This is also IKEA. This is kind of a tool tray. At the moment, I've got a whole load of cables in there. All my cables are in here, and anything I need immediately is in here. This guy, I got this from a viewer there. Thank you, Glenn. Viewer gave me this. I had no tools. I had no tools whatsoever. I was using a kitchen knife, etc. Thank you very much for that. This is the problem here. See the trunking there? I got that put in. So the reason this has come up with me at last showing you this video is because I had electric problems. All the switches were just tripping. So it was a nightmare. So I had to take everything out of this room to get the trunking put in and extra plugs. There was a nightmare. In fact, this printer here, they're just old drawers. I've had those since day one. Right? This printer here, this is a Brother printer. You know the small printers you get, and they just getting ink cartridges. And you're going to print something, you need to do something now. It goes, oh, you've no magenta left, you buy the whole cartridge again. And it's like 70 quid, it's just my head on. This one, okay, the cartridges are, you know, 70 quid, but it lasts forever. And it just works. It's a big, heavy printer. Now, we're not really talking about printers now, but I just thought we'd be looking at it. This one really hurt my arm when I was moving it back into the studio. I can't really move my arm properly anymore. I sprained my arm badly, and I made it worse today putting a lawnmower, trying to start it. So now this is not called the Brother anymore. It's called the Big Bastard, because it really screwed up my arm. But you know what I mean, folks, with printers. Now, I'm happy with this so far. I am. But it's the Bastard. Now, that's what it's called. So we're going to the rig now in a minute. We're coming to the rig now. So this this bin is buttons proof. It's producer buttons proof. Because she, as you know, in the stream, she'll kick off and try to get my attention for a treat. Right? Can't say that too loud because she'll wake up and start barking. So she can't get in there, and she used to get in. All the cables used to be on the floor. Now I know the cable management is shocking. I know, I don't care. I don't see it. It doesn't bother me. But the cables used to be underneath, and I got this then. I wanted to put all the cables up high so she couldn't get at all the cables, because she'd pull out the USB and it would stop the stream because she's trying to bribe me for a treat, right? So I bought this, and they're all in the shop, 60 quid for a little table, a little wooden thing. So I went into this store in Gorey here, and I said, look, I'm not paying 60 quid, I just want to keep cables off the floor. So she had her coffee rested on this one. So I said to her, here, I'll give you 20 quid for that. And she goes, no, but that's where I put my coffee. And I said, I'll give you 20 quid for it. So she agreed, and I got it for 20 quid. Hey ho. PC, not so cheap, right? Let's see if I can zoom in here, right? This monstrosity is a 4080 card, okay? And it's air-cooled, which air-cooled is fine. Air-cooled is fine. But it's a humdinger. It's an i9 900K processor and all that kind of stuff. 32 gigs of RAM. Fancy motherboard. I built it myself. I'm very proud of that. But it works very, very well with 4K. It's overkill, I know. I know it's overkill. So that's the PC. Also, I have another Audient ID4 sound system there. These are just USB ports up the wazoo, folks, and lots of wires. But I don't care about the wire management because I don't see them myself, right? Here's the rig. Here's the rig. Now, let me open the door here. Over the years, I've built this up. It's old TVs except for the center one, right? Because you can't see what I'm looking at. You see me looking to the side all the time. The right one is for the stream. This is Streamlabs here. So you can see this picture here. I can see myself, the yoke cam, and all the comments coming through here. And I have the YouTube comments coming through here as well on this TV, so I can see your comments, right? The center one is for flight sim. That's it's an LG C2. Really, really good. Like, wow. I've never bought a TV and went, wow. So I'm glad I invested in that eventually. So this is really good. The one over here is another cheapie. These are two cheapies, by the way. I don't throw away televisions. I just keep them. Oh, my finger. This is a new camera, forgive me. This television I use for, if I'm flying the Airbus or something like that, I use Navigraph, maps and any other tools on this monitor. So I have more real estate with all those monitors. I don't use them for surround or anything like that. Again, I have the Shure mic here. Focus, please. Focus. And of course, oh God, I feel so pathetic. Remove before flight. Oh, aren't I so witty? That came with a pair of trousers, actually. So I stuck it there for shits and giggles. Yeah, don't ask me what wear clothes I'm wearing. That's, of course, the throttle I'm using at the moment. This is the Honeycomb. And I bought this set online, so I can use the set as a 737. Very, very handy, very, very good. See the big knobs there? You get them online. I can't remember the site, though, where I got them. Just look up Honeycomb 737 throttles and you'll find them. Very, very good. Got the flap lever and all the detents there. And, of course, the speed brakes. Flaps here as well. Lots of buttons. Autopilot up the top. Happy days. I think you're all familiar with those. What else have I got here? I have the Honeycomb. Sorry. It's 1 o'clock. Stream Deck. Stream Deck is just a box of buttons, folks. Very, very handy. Like if I want to make, the air stewardess talk about the cruise or the safety, make buttons bark. Other various stuff for the camera in the flight sim, that's pretty handy. Cheap keyboard, just with lights on it, and a cheap mouse. I don't care about getting fancy stuff. Underneath this television I have the Tobii, which works really, really well. The Tobii's great. And then of course the Yoko the Yoke. Now, look, at the time I bought the Yoko the Yoke, okay? You could either get a really, really good high-end one or a real shit control yoke, right? It's either high-end or shit. Now Honeycomb make a really good one. There's other companies as well. There's other companies as well that make them. So the reason I bought this is because a pilot who had never simmed before said, I can't fly with that, with the cheaper ones, GripperSim. So we bought this, so I bought one as well eventually. So I'm quite happy with that, but thankfully you don't need to spend such money anymore on a yoke. This, however, the ThrustMaster. This is the Warthog pack, all right? It's right under the table there, so you can't really see it. So I can use both. I'll just quickly change, and you'll see it's right under the lip here. See that? Right under the table here, right? That metal table there, and it came as a set, the Warthog ThrustMaster. Very, very nice. The seat I'm using, GT Omega, okay? I tried to contact them once, I don't know, it's about affiliate marketing or something. They wouldn't return my calls. But nevertheless, it's a very good seat. I've never been uncomfortable on it. And it comes with, it's great for simming actually. And they don't advertise it as simming, flight sim. It's for racing. But it comes with this whole thing. I can rest everything on it, including the radio stack there. They're very, very good. Right, if you can still get them, I'm pretty sure you can. What pedals am I using? Now, I have to give this guy a shout out, right? MFG Crosswind pedals. He hand makes them. They do arrive in good time and he keeps in contact with you. So just look up MFG Crosswind in Google if you're looking for pedals. They do cost a couple of £100, but they're really, really, really good. And I'm glad I bought them. They're full metal. There's no plastic at all, and they're actuated by magnets. No pulleys or wires or anything like that. So they're quite good. I have an Xbox controller, by the way. That's how I control the camera when I'm hopping inside the aircraft. You just plug it in, guys, and it's all set up for you. You don't have to set up any buttons, and that's why I stuck one in there. That's how I control the camera of the aircraft outside and all the eye candy stuff. Then over the left side, I have the ThrustMaster throttle, which is pretty cool. And also for the Airbus, I have the Airbus throttle. The reason I got the Airbus throttle is because the Airbus uses detents. I'm sorry you can't see that really, but it has the detent. You listen, and you can't really use the Airbus with this. You've got to find the detents, because if you don't get the climb set properly, it'll just burst to airspace. You go like a bat out of hell. So that's why I got that. These are the Saitek, right? Radio stacks. Now, I did a big review in these years ago, okay? And I just plugged them in and they worked. But now they're not working for me, right? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But the radio always worked. The radio here, which is the most important thing, always worked. And it's very, very good. Not too sure about the autopilot anymore, because sometimes it does work and sometimes it doesn't. I just don't use this one anymore. I don't use it, you know. But you can get it working with SPAD next, okay? But it could be a me thing, you know. For the autopilot, I got the RealSim gear. But remember, it only works on G1000s, 2000s, 3000s. Oh, sorry, there isn't a 1000. But the Germans, okay. I talked about the screens. The lighting. So you can see my face here. That's Elgato, okay. Really, really good. I've got it stuck onto the side here. You can't really see it, of that actual platform that comes with the GT Omega. It doesn't come with it as an extra. There is a big heavy stand for this you can buy. It's €50 though. So that's the seat for my headset, so I can hear the sound. So effectively what happens is, right, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to the Shure, right? And they're the best sounding. Sound of your voice is so important. Not of your particular sounding of your own voice, but the sound that comes through. It's very, very important. Now, if I had the speaker on, you'd hear it in the background, so I put a pair of these on. And they're fine. They're Steel series. They're okay. Well, they're great, actually. The battery, actually, in all fairness, lasts in these for ages. So I'm actually, you know, they're quite good. They're very good. Look, they're brilliant because I research everything I buy. I research the hell out of everything. I can't help it. Over here, we've got this here is the Logitech. It's 1080p, right? Logitech C90 something, right? C190, is it? That's what I use for the Cam and showing you stuff like that. What else do I have? Here's a little table here. Okay, the remote control for the TV, my tasty beverage, and the Xbox controller. That's a spare in case the battery runs out. The other one. What else? What else can I tell you? Now, do you know what, folks? I have to tell you, right? After putting this back together, man, it's just so many wires, so many things to think of. And you know what happens? The worst thing that happens to me is you plug out the USB cables and the HDMI cables, and when you plug it back in, they're not in the same place, and it goes nuts. It just goes crazy. It's tough work, you know. It really is tough work to put these together. I didn't realize until I put this back together how much shit I have, you know. It's bizarre. So that is the studio tour for the sim room and this station here for editing. This is my main little office, right? I call it the studio because it sounds fancy, let's face it. It sounds kind of fancy, right? Now, thanks to all the members, by the way. Thank you so much. This is only the same people, the small few of you who support the channel. It does help. Most of this gear here, right? Most of this gear, in fact, everything goes into the channel, goes into me buying gear. With software or hardware, or like these lights, for example, the Elgato light, and the mics, you know. So it just goes right back into the channel. Now, time-wise, you know, I should be putting more time into it. So we're going to move on now to the sim rig, folks. We're going to move out into the sim rig. I'm going to have a look at that. I hope you like my new camera. By the way, if you're wondering why the sound is so good, right? I've got a mic thing here. They're very, very cool because I'm thinking of doing some other videos and stuff like that. So there you go. Let's do some GripperSim My Candy Go, and then go and have a look at the racing rig. It's the next morning, folks, actually, because it was quite late last night and I was quite tired, actually, fiddling around with this new camera. Did I say what kind of camera this is? You probably asked me in the comments. It's a Sony ZV-E10, right? ZV-E10. Stupid name. I can never remember it, but there you go. So now we're in the racing simulator area, right? So I kind of wanted to get back into this again for myself, and I used to have a little just cheap steering wheel with the lads on the Xbox, and I miss doing that, the F1 and all the racing, and it's great fun. So I thought early last year, I started building on it, right? So this is the beta version, right? Because I have more plans for this in the future if it's possible. So let's have a look at it and see what I have, right? So by the way, all the lighting in the other room, I just use Hue lights, by the way. You're going to ask me that, I'd say in the comments. I use Hue. There are other brands, but I find them a pain in the ass because there's other ecosystems, but they just don't work. One day a light won't work, and you have to play around with it and fiddle around and get it fixed. Hue just always worked. And I kind of build them up over the years. I get one light here now and again. So I just like my lighting. And Hue I know they're more expensive, but they just work. I've tried all the other brands, right? So that's what lighting I use in that other room. Besides the key lighting. So this is the racing sim in the corner of my living room. Now, some people have a pool table, right? Some people have other stuff. I have this. It sits neatly in the corner. It's not really taking over the room. And the minute someone comes in here, they just want to sit down there and they're like, wow, let's race. Why do I have 3 screens? Now, I can't afford the fancy ones, unfortunately. So I got 3 cheapies on a sale. They were just under 200 quid each there in a local store after Christmas. The reason I have 3 is because I have peripheral vision now. The reason I don't use VR, firstly, I can't stream in VR, and secondly, VR, it just gets too hot. And it's finicky and messy, and there's wires everywhere, and it just doesn't work. It's great if you're on your own, but for streaming, no. So what have I got? I got the seat first, right? This is a track racer. I've got the little cover there. Little thing there. Very comfortable, very good. No problems with that. It all works fine. There are different types. This is not the tubular one. It's all kind of tubes. You know, it looks kind of fancy, you know. And there's a TV stand as well. Not happy with the TV stand, really. I was ringing Track Racer to ask them a solution because anything over 43 inches it's just going to bend and you won't get that straight look. And I'm trying to get the bezels You see the bezels here, maybe over this side. You know, I don't like the bezels, so in the future I'd like to get the fancy TVs with the bezel-free kit, okay? And that's what that's for. So the three TV screens are great for peripheral vision. So, because the idea at the end of the day, right, is to have a GoPro on my head and make it look real as possible, okay? Now, it's very dark behind. You can't see the wall because I've put curtains behind, blackout curtains behind, so it looks quite dark, okay? Also, with the Track Racer, you can get all sorts of stuff like my keyboard and my mouse underneath. I've got my channel changer there. I just use, you see, it'll shake off. I just use Velcro. Velcro is your friend, folks, for all sorts of stuff. And that's very handy. They're just cheap. They're 1080p Samsung TVs, like, for the moment, okay? The main part of this is the actual actuator for the steering. Force feedback. It's not belt-driven. It's a Fanatec. You've heard of Fanatec, I would say. They have a whole ecosystem with the motors for the force feedback, the wheels, and the pedals. Okay, this is the it's the 8 Newton meters, right? You get another power pack, and it brings it up to 8. I think it's the cheapest one they have. That's more than enough for me. I don't need to be fighting the steering wheel particularly. It came with the McLaren, okay, the McLaren wheel, and also the pedals. Now the pedals I've upgraded. I shouldn't have, right? I think these are the Club Sport ones, right? They look fancy and on the ground, they're fine. But the reason I got these is because they have little gimbals at the back that vibrate for ABS. But you can't feel it, it's too weak. So I kind of regret that purchasing decision. Do I have buyer's remorse with regards to the pedals? Yes, I do have buyer's remorse for the pedals. I'm a bit displeased about that. But anyway, they go on about the pedals. Now, I'm not a high-end sim racer in the racing community at all, and I can't see what the thing is about the pedals. They're always going on about how important the pedals are. I just don't see it yet because I'm not, experienced. I have a little thing here for the butt kicker. I stuck that on again. That's to switch it on and off. It's the first time I've ever had a big butt kicker. We'll come along to that now shortly. So the Fanatec base, the Fanatec ecosystem. Why did I go Fanatec? Well, I went Fanatec because it works on the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the PC. So if I ever decide to race, I can't speak anymore, folks. If I ever decide to race on a console, I can. So that's why I went Fanatec. They're a big name. Also, I got the gear shifter. It came in a big pack. The H shifter, which is great, and the handbrake. Now, it's not placed correctly, right? Because I just haven't figured that out yet, right? Also, I have a stand for, you can connect your phones and iPads to the racing system as well. This is the thing I got as well, just to show me the gears and whatnot, because I won't see it in the car the way I have the camera set up on the sim itself. So that's I have a Stream Deck to go in there, okay? So, up the top, I didn't mention what I'm using in the other room. In here, I'm using a face cam, Elgato face cam. In the other room, I've been using a Logitech 4K Brio. Right, I'm not using those anymore because it just won't show the picture. This artifacting and stuff on the Logitechs, and I can't find out why. All of a sudden, just when I changed out the rig, so they're a bit of a pain. Except for the C90, Logitech C90, which is 1080p. I have an old camera here. I shouldn't have switched off. This is the Canon M50, EOS M50, which I had for some years, and I thought I would use this for my overhead shot, or a shot at the steering area here. It works quite well. It's worked quite well in the last few streams, but now, of course, it's not working. If you get software to do this, but it works. It works. It's a bit fiddly. The camera I'm holding here, the Sony EV10, is ideal for that because it just works. One wire, it charges the phone, and it just works. Key light, of course, I'm using the same as the other room, an Elgato key light. I had 2 initially in the other room, but I only discovered I needed 1. All right, just 1. What else have we got? Yeah, for my sound, actually, for my mic, I'm using a headset, okay? Now, I researched the shit out of this. This is a Razer, okay? A Razer headset. It doesn't have the model number on it, unfortunately. I don't think so. But it's the one with the best mic. That's USB, and that's why I got this one. okay, so you can hear me correctly. I don't use a kind of a boom mic or anything like that because I'd be turning my head and whatnot. So we'll see how this goes. It seems to sound okay for the moment. Okay, I don't use the Rode mic here on this camera, the M50. I like to use old stuff as much as possible, so that I didn't get any new cameras for this, except for the Elgato, which is on top there. All right. The PC is my old PC for simming, for flight simming, and I didn't sell it. I knew I'd use it for something. 3080 Ti graphics card. It's an I can't remember, i9. It's the previous version. It's not the most up-to-date version, but it's just as good. It's overkill again. It's a very good PC. I've had this for years now, for donkey's years. Also, the butt kicker. This is my first time using the butt kicker, folks. Right? I didn't buy one because I thought it was just silly, to be honest with you. Right? But it's absolutely brilliant. Okay. It's really brilliant because when I'm changing gears, and I'll just show you the actuator here. It vibrates. It's like stereo vibration, right? It's on the right side of the sim rig, but it vibrates off on the left, you know, or behind you. It's really cleverly done how to do it. Just the way it vibrates. So the butt kicker, I think, if you're, you know, I'd love to have one for flight sim, but I'm not spending the money. It's really, really good, and it works. You may remember I was complaining about butt kicker here streaming in this one day. That was my fault because I didn't have it in a USB 3 port. Yep. A little bit of shelving here. This also came with the pack. It's okay, you know, it'll work with PlayStation and Xbox and all that kind of stuff. This was extra. I wanted a round wheel. Okay, that's the Stream Deck I've got to fit to it, and other bits and pieces. Lots of wires and stuff, so I've got to tidy this area up. Incidentally. Gloves. Right, your hands get very sweaty. So if you're racing for more than 20 minutes, you need the gloves. It just gets really sticky, right? So I bought a cheap pair of gloves, right? Cycling gloves. You don't need to go and get the racing gloves. I'm going to get more. If I want more gloves, I'm going to get the cyclist gloves because, first of all, the rubber here, right, your skin cells get stuck in there and whatnot, and just over time it gets manky. So I'm going to use the gloves in future. So if you see me using the gloves in the stream, you'll go, what a twat. No, it's not because I'm, you know, trying to look like a real racer. It's to stop my hands from sweating too much, you know. So there you go. That is beta. The beta sim rig. It doesn't look it, does it? It looks pretty damn cool, I think. But it's great fun. I enjoy it immensely, and you don't need all this gear. I just thought I'd have a little proper setup in the corner with the lighting and the cameras and stuff, so I can stream it, and hopefully one day it might pay for itself. You know. So that's it. In the corner of the living room, nice and tidy. Doesn't take up too much space, and people love it when they come in. They just want to sit down and race. So there you go, folks. So to that end, folks, it's about time I did one of these. And again, just for the members channel for now. And I will see you on Sunday, 2100 hours, Irish UK time local, on the North European server in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Ciao, ciao.